How do you find out what's going on in your town? Do you use Facebook, Instagram, word of mouth, television? Well, if it's entertainment or activities, the best source of finding out what's going on in your area is radio. That's what I said, the dirty word, radio. Funny. I used to ignore radio. And a few months ago, I was listening to a local station in my area, and all of a sudden an ad came on. Diana Ross was coming to town for 3 shows in a few weeks. By the time I heard the ad, the show was already sold out. If I listened to radio a bit more, I would have known. So I missed that one. So, is radio still the reigning king of audio entertainment in 2024/25? With so many new players in the game, it's a question worth exploring because for decades, radio was the go-to medium for music, news, and entertainment. But with the rise of streaming services, podcasts, and social media, its dominance has definitely been threatened. Anyway, my name is Henry Clark, and welcome to Senior Musicians Unite, where I try to inspire senior musicians like us with tips, tricks, and also industry info. They help us keep it moving. So today's topic again is radio. Let's talk about it. And stick around because I'm going to tell you radio stations that by charter are supposed to play music from independent musicians. Now, as we know, radio faces a multitude of challenges in today's media landscape. The dreaded streaming services like Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, offering personalized playlists and on-demand music has made the transitional radio model seemingly outdated. Podcasts have become increasingly popular, offering a diverse range of topics and niche content that appeals to specific audiences. And let's not forget about social media, where users can access a vast array of audio content from music and podcasts to audiobooks and live streams. Furthermore, the shift towards online media has led to a decline in traditional radio advertising revenue. With less money coming in, radio stations are struggling to stay afloat, let alone compete with the big dogs, the big players in the digital space. And with the rise of voice-controlled smart speakers, Alexa, play Henry, or Google, or Siri, stuff like that, it's getting easier for listeners to access alternative audio sources, which further erodes the radio listener base. In addition, the changing demographics of radio listeners can also pose a challenge. Younger generations are turning to online media for their audio fix, leaving traditional radio with an aging audience, like us, But these things, they do raise concerns about the long-term sustainability of radio. However, despite these challenges, radio, man, is still alive and kicking. According to a recent survey, over 90% of Americans still listen to traditional radio at some point every week. And while the demographics may be shifting, radio still reaches a vast and diverse audience with the advent of emergency technologies like HD radio. Digital radio stations are able to offer high-quality broadcasts and more interactive features, which enhance the listener experience. But having said all of that, when you're stuck in traffic, coming home from work, or going to work in the morning, or there's an accident in the bridge or the tunnel, you hit that radio for that traffic report in Outlook. Yeah, you can look it up on Google and it'll tell you that it's closing an alternate route, but there's nothing like that traffic report when you're stuck in that traffic to tell you where to go or how much longer you got to sit, where you are. But one thing that's definite, you're not going to get it on Spotify. You're not going to get that on Sirius, You turn to that local radio station and that's what you do. So yeah, there's still a place for radio. And of course, the radio stations are also adapting to the changing media landscape by embracing digital technologies and social media. And many stations, of course, now offer live streaming podcasts and online content, which allows them to reach a wider audience and stay relevant in the digital age. And additionally, radio is still a powerful medium for advertisers, offering a unique combination of reach, frequency, and impact that the digital media just can't match. The streaming services, they can't tell you what's happening in your area. And one fascinating case study of mid-sized radio in the US, they successfully transitioned to a hybrid model, incorporating digital elements and social media engagement into its traditional broadcast format. And by doing so, it was able to increase its listener base by over 20% and attract new and younger audiences. And this example actually highlights the resilience and innovation of radio in the face of competition. Also, remember, there are also some guys that come on morning radio, whether it be country, or R&B or talk or whatever, and they are radio superstars. These programs are syndicated and they spread throughout the entire US. And that's on radio. So what happens, of course, is that because they're in sync, then what happens is that when the commercial break comes up, then the local station gets to put some of their own commercials, in that space left for, for local advertising. Then there's also national advertising. But these syndicated superstars are spread throughout the entire US on radio. You don't find it on the digital platforms, Now, I know that a lot of these stations are also owned by, iHeart or Odyssey Radio, but still, that sound, again, it's spread across the entire U.S. In another example, a large radio network launched a targeted podcasting strategy, creating a range of popular podcasts that appeal to specific audience by segment. And they leveraged that existing broadcasting infrastructure because they had a huge infrastructure and their talent pool was also huge. And the network was able to quickly gain traction in the podcasting space, further expanding its reach and revenue streams. Not everybody's Joe Rogan today, okay? There's a lot of podcasts that's going on out there, Now, but as I promised, here's a kicker for senior musicians and independents. It's called community radio. These stations are really pertinent to senior and independent musicians, and they are on the rise. They focus on niche audiences and local content. And as an independent artist, your chances of getting airplay on your community radio station is very, very good because supporting the community is part of the overall community radio charter. It's a standard charter for community radio stations to support local businesses to include musicians on their radio station. And these stations are often more agile and responsive to their listener needs. They offer a unique experience and authentic listening experience that resonates with local communities. Now, I know they don't have the bandwidth to go all over the place like, states and everything, right? But in that local community and the surrounding areas, they make a huge impact. I know. I used to work at a community station a couple of years ago. And they were a source of information on everything, gardening, church services, even the next free outdoor concert. It was amazing how many people would tune in. Plus, it was piped into a lot of the local businesses throughout the area, barbershops, restaurants, boutiques, car washes, places like that. These businesses love community radio stations because they can advertise their specials, their sales, coupons, stuff like that. And some community stations get an even wider reach by simultaneously broadcasting over the web and picked up on apps like TuneIn Radio. Matter of fact, the station I used to work at, they had this thing called New Music Thursday where local artists would come into the studio and they would either play live or discuss their latest release. And that publicity alone would help them in pursuing local gigs throughout the area. So, want to get some free airplay or an on-air interview? Contact your local community radio station if there's one in your area. And I can assure you they are there to help you. I know radio faces significant challenges from streaming services, podcasts, and other forms of media, but it still has a lot to offer. It has a unique strength, adaptability, and it has an innovative spirit. It still remains a powerful player in the audio entertainment landscape. and the data says that it has a bright future ahead. So I know everyone thinks that all the music is on Spotify or Apple Music or platforms like that, but radio is still widely listened to, especially during drive time throughout the US. As an aside, sometimes you guys see me in the videos wearing a hat that says you're never too old to make music, or a shirt that says you're never too old, or a coffee cup that says you're never too old to make music. Those are inspirational items for me, right? That's why I created them. The shirts come in a variety of colors. Of course, the hat is only in black and the cup is only in white. But they are great pieces. Sometimes they're conversation pieces when I wear them out in public. So if you're interested in purchasing one of those, look in the links below and you can hit my Shopify store up and you can choose whatever you want. They come in a variety of sizes. Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget to share your thoughts on whether you think radio is still king in the comments below. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to Henry Senior Musicians Unite for more information on media trends and videos on these types of subjects that I think are really, really good for us seniors to know about. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.